Hey guys, welcome to the Blue Collar Business Podcast, where we discuss the realest, rawest, most relevant stories and strategies behind building every corner of a blue collar business. I'm your host, Cy Kirby, and I want to help you in what it took me, trial and error, and a whole lot of money to learn. The information that no one in this industry is willing to share. Whether you're under that shade tree or have your hard hat on, let's expand your toolbox. The last thing I got for you, I ask everybody, what's a takeaway for the blue-collar worker who's sick and tired of being stuck in the mud? And I know for us, that can mean quite literal, since we came from the ditches and the muddy holes. But I'm talking about a little bit about that mental game that we talked about. Maybe emotionally, he's off kilter at home and work suffering because of it. He's scared he might lose his job. Let's talk about those guys that are 18 to 22 years old. They're stuck in their head mentally. They've been somewhere for a year or two. Tell them, from your experience, other than the few things that you've already mentioned, how do they propel through their 20s and get set up for their 30s like we are?
Don't be set in your ways.
Very good one, man.
I've talked to young guys, and they want to start as a foreman. They want to start as a superintendent. They don't want to go in the ditch. But if, like we've said, you go in the ditch, you work hard, you're professional, you show some enthusiasm, you show some progress, you learn the job.
Retain information.
You retain it. You're going to climb pretty quick. There's a lot of open holes in this industry.
100%, buddy.
I don't know how many times I've been offered a job from a contractor, or how many times I've had contractors call me and want to know guys to hire. Do you know anybody hiring?
I've done it.
You know anybody hire? You know anybody hire? I need truck driver.
You know anybody over there?
Yeah, you know anybody. But don't be moldable. If you hate being in the ditch, you hate laying pipe, okay, go do something else. Go get out of the ditch, go get out of the pipe. Go talk to the framer who's on the job. He'll give you a job that
tomorrow.
Day. I guarantee it.
100%, buddy.
It might be picking up trash.
Yep.
Pick up trash.
But it wasn't what you were doing.
In 4 years, when I quit college, I went 5 years with Mike, and within 2 to 3 years, I was making more money than my mother was as a 30-year teacher with a master's degree.
That's so sad.
And
it's great. Fantastic for you. Terrible for Mama Bear there because
of course. Well,
teachers
are severely underpaid anyway,
100%.
And that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, it is.
But, our whole family's teachers. So
right.
But there's opportunity there.
Point proven, brother. 100% point proven.
It could happen in 2 years. It could happen in 3 years.
You can speed up a 4-year degree, a 4-year educational degree. You can hop in a ditch or go to work as a plumber's apprentice. Or I know Bobby Boer pours beautiful manholes and storm boxes, and he's always begging for that one guy that retains just a little bit of information about how to put a manhole together and a box together.
If you're 19, if you're 20, if you're 21, and you can work hard and you can be professional and you can learn it, and by the time you're 25,
sky's the limit.
He's probably going to give you a truck to drive.
100%.
He's probably going to give you all the tools you want. He's going to give you all the work time you want. And he's going to pay you good because he doesn't want you to go somewhere else.
That's right.
Because as soon as that guy starts doing good work and somebody else sees it,
it's on, dude.
They're going to be like, hey, what are you making?
Yep.
And you get this.
Yep.
And then that guy's going to want to keep you.
Yep.
And if you can show...
It's not just the money side of it. It's from this side of the table, bro. It's like, I've invested in this guy time-wise for a freaking year to get him to the knowledge where I can pick up the phone and we can talk about a corpse stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like, it's that investment, that retraining in a company. Oh my! Well, as an inspector, you're retraining. As you get new guys, it's a lot more involved with. We do the same thing, but kind of a little bit more repetitive.
Yeah.
We're not looking for as much as you guys are, but man, it's so different. But I think that's a great takeaway, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. you've got a lot of life to live. You're going to be working for 30 or 40 years.
Yep.
You're going to work till you're 50, 60, 70 years old.
Yep.
By the time you're 25, if you can get to a foreman superintendent role, you're going to have less time in the ditch. There's going to be crappy days.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to call in sick. You're going to have to run a track go.
You bet.
Enjoy it.
Yes.
Enjoy running the track go.
Prioritize that
Because it's
moment.
fun.
It is.
It's a big, giant video game.
But I ask everybody, man, every blue-collar guy that's just absolutely sick and tired of being stuck in the mud. Maybe it's a guy that's been at the same job for 7 years. Maybe it's the owner that's trying to make that first new purchase. Maybe it's mental. Maybe it's physical. Maybe it's emotional, going through some hard stuff at home, and you just can't capture the right mindset to show up every day and keep going. How do they give us a key takeaway that's helped you do everything that you're doing mentally, man, or physically, but stuck in the mud, dude? How they get out of that mud?
So here,
Do it.
been in a lot of bad situations, right? Like everybody has. And everybody's bad situations are, you know what I mean? My
Yep.
bad situation is way worse than somebody that probably doesn't own a company. Arguably, you know what I'm
Yep,
saying?
I do,
And then
buddy.
I'll call Trey to complain about it, and he's like, "Oh, you know,
That's a Tuesday.
yeah, exactly." Like, you know, so everybody's problem. But what's a big deal? You know, somebody complaining about losing a tire on their car or whatever. It's a huge deal to them, right? This is not fair to me to say that that's no big deal, because
Right.
it would be if I was in that boat, right? So, anyways, I say that to say that I've been in all those situations, and there's times where, like when we had multiple commercial sites going at once, and we're getting screwed around on stuff that we can't control, and man, it's running. You were talking about answering to your wife when she's like, "Where's this money?" And man, it takes a toll on your employees, yourself, your wife, your kids, your everything. You know what I mean? I mean, it runs you into the ground.
You know,
trying
it's
to-
funny, dude. You didn't say yourself in there. And we always, it's like we always, not to cut you off, but it's like we always place ourselves completely last in this equation, because we have so many people we're responsible for.
I don't have time for that.
I don't have
got-
time
yeah.
to think about my
Yeah,
feelings.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then, you know, you get to the point where, like, you're so run down. Like, you can't, you know what I mean?
Mentally.
Like, yes. Like, I can't. And I finally got to that breaking point, you know. And when I get in those situations, here's what I started doing. And this is easy sitting right here. It's harder when it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But you end up in that boat where, like, I'll mourn, so to speak, that situation, right? Like, I'll go through it.
Obsess
let
about
myself,
it.
yeah. Deal with, you know what I mean? Go on for a day or two or three or a week or whatever it takes. I mean, during that most recent process, I mean, there was tears shed, dude.
You
Like,
bet,
I'll be honest, between me and my wife. But, you know, down at the yard, like, just, I don't know.
What we're going to do.
Yeah, we tried so, and we were that way in the beginning when we had $20. You know what I mean? Now we're about to lose another 40 grand. You know, and it's like, how did we try this hard and end up? You know, now she's crying because I'm going through this. I'm like, how? Anyways,
Buddy, do I get what you're saying?
yes, man.
I lived it.
And that's the stuff nobody's going to understand, nor should they, right? They won't ever know without going through what we're into. But I'll go through those situations, and they used to be smaller, you know, in hindsight. It's like, why did I care that much about that, right? Eventually, I'll be saying the same thing about this most recent situation. If you're growing, problems get bigger, right? But I'll go through and mourn that situation. Like I said, not make any rash decisions, deal with it for a few days, and then eventually I have to logically look at the situation and say, okay, what are my options here, right? Shut down. And so, like, I have to honestly answer this question to myself a couple times because it got so bad. Do I quit? Do I close the doors? Do I give up? And I have to sit there, you know what I mean? For a couple minutes, you know, and like, don't be prideful. Is that the best option? And maybe it is. But every time I'm like, you know, either keep going or shut her down. And every time I'm like, well, I can't freaking quit at this point, you know. So I just
One
keep
day
moving.
away from everything changing.
Exactly. You know, it's all up and downhill. If you get a bad call, you're about to get a good call. You know what I mean? So
There's usually a string of bad calls, there's a string of good calls, and it's just up and down, but it's finding that middle ground and keeping everybody level, which sounds so easy sitting there. It's so easy.
But every time I talk to, like I said, like Trebo, if we're going through, I just keep on keeping on, just keep going. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I get it, but that's really it. You know what I mean?
It really is.
Like when you're like, how do you get through those times? Dude, you just keep going. And that's so easy to say.
Do it.
Yeah. Like you just put another foot in front of the other, and if you're going to fail, you're going to go down swinging. I mean, we might go under, as Trebo says, I'll be back in business the next day.
That's right.
I mean, I don't know. That's what it boils down to me. It's so easy to sit here and say, you just keep going, but that's all there is to it, right? Learn. Everybody talks about hard work. Yeah, that's a given. That's a prerequisite.
100%.
Hard work alone won't get you there. Network, learn, give a shit. You know what I mean? And work your ass off. And
relationships.
Just keep going. Yeah, absolutely.
Relationships are absolutely everything. Having those influences, like you've mentioned, to not even really just vent to, man.
Yeah.
And them just not really give you any keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're like, did you just hear what I said?
Yeah.
I'm fixing to go bankrupt. And they're like, psh, boy, you don't know even close to bankrupt. Get your ass out there and go back to work. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's just that comfort and the confidence over just decades of just keep.
Yeah, they've seen those situations, and they seem small to them. They don't have that much empathy because they forgot that. You know what I mean? Like, they went through that too, and they care, but like, dude, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're going to survive. You have this far. So it reminds me real quick that there's a TikTok. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't remember the guy's name. I'm going to butcher it, but he says he's talking to his mentor. He's owed $1 million. He's down, he's down bad, whatever. They've refinanced. They've done everything they can. They're about to go bankrupt. And he's talking to one of his mentors, and he's like, tells him the story, and he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And he said, the guy looks at me and laughs and says, son, if you're not worried about going bankrupt about every 3 years, you ain't doing shit anyway.
Justin Win Waller. I know exactly.
Yeah, Justin Waller. That's what it is. Yeah.
That's my guy,
Dude,
bro. Where you at, King?
I've watched that clip through, like, in some lows. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And because right after he says it, he goes, I can't explain it. Or he said, it's not the answer I wanted, but I just felt better. And that's so true. Like, every time I think of that, I'm like, and, like I said, what you just said about Trey is the same way of like, dude, either, like, that's part of the growth, right? Like, if you're not worried about going bankrupt, you're not doing shit.
You're not even, if the IRS or you ain't going bankrupt or you're not pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
Like, literally. Now, there's so many probably 30-year business snooties that would probably sit here and tell you otherwise. But for a guy like me and you, brother, that had nothing starting out and said, I'm going to do this, there ain't no other freaking way for us,
Right.
dog.
Right.
What if a guy is sitting there just absolutely sick and tired of being stuck in the mud? Whether that's literal sense in the mud or mentally stuck in the mud of doing the same thing. I got to get up and go do the same job. Whether it's a different location, I got to run the same wire. I got to punch the same nail. I got to lay the same line. That guy, how does he get out of that situation? And how it doesn't have to be anything major, but the things that you have seen in the changes in morale and personalities here. Any tips you can give for a blue-collar guy like that?
I think I'll try to kind of relate this question to what I do, because I'm not going to sit here and try to tell the blue-collar worker that I know how to get him out of the mud, because I'm not in the mud with him.
Respectively.
So, but I have seen, we've been through some times this year, for sure.
Roller coaster, my guy.
Oh, yeah, but it's been so cool. I think that, I don't know, with getting, you could kind of relate this back to the barriers that we were facing, and they weren't really sure if it was gonna stick, when we were first getting out there. But I just kind of, I think getting after it, chasing opportunity, I think, is a good way to, even if it's, I don't know, if your boss sometimes brings in or someday brings in a camera guy, and you need to show, I don't know how to put this. I think your boss brings in a camera guy, and you're not really sure how to feel about it, but there's opportunity there. You can somehow use to your advantage. It's something different, because you keep repeating the same thing over and over again.
Right.
It's something different. It's something to maybe you do see it taking pride. You got a different source of pride because your work is finally getting shown, right? But yeah, I don't have a super great answer for that question.
That's
and I
a
apologize,
fantastic answer, but like the same guy that's been doing this 10, 15 years, camera shows up, there's opportunity there. Strike on it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. I know it's new and it's different, but gotta adapt sometimes. I think that's huge.
The digital marketing space, the videography, start tomorrow, guys. There's no reason you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Don't think you've got to make it some special thing. There's YouTube channels out there. I would say brand it. If you want to. What's a takeaway for the blue collar worker who is sick of being stuck in the mud? And I'm talking about those drivers or your guys that come to you, they're just down and out mentally, physically, emotionally, and they're just tired of it. You know what I mean?
I hate not to sound like a Disney movie, but
You're fine.
you gotta, probably one of my favorite quotes. I'll give two here, but one of them is, you gotta keep moving forward. Most great things in the Bible, every great thing that I can remember in the Bible started out in adversity. So good things are to come. And if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And that's where I live my life. I don't know that they're inspiring to everyone, but that's what inspires me, right? Like if it doesn't scare me just a little bit, I'm not dreaming big enough.
Dude, that is 100% something to strive for and relatable. I'm sitting here across the table. I'm just 100% relating where you're coming from because the guy at the top can't ever stop dreaming because as soon as he does, the whole thing comes crumbling down because it's always going to be tough up there, down on the bottom, dealing with every day-to-day problems, and sometimes it can get hard. And keep moving forward. Keep the trucks rolling down the road, hopefully with a load on them.
Load on them.
What's a takeaway for that blue-collar worker who is sick and tired of being stuck in the mud? And that may be physical. You've seen me come into your shop pretty muddy before, but also mentally, emotionally. You were vulnerable there a minute ago. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
It's hard some days to just get up and do it.
I tell you, the first thing is have a mentor that you can reach out to, and I mean somebody that's going to be a mentor for you, probably their whole life.
Yeah,
their whole life, not yours. Their whole life.
Yeah.
And your goal is to not need them. And but you need to be able to reach out to somebody and say, and it could be a friend, it could be a relative, but somebody that doesn't have really any skin in the game that can impart with you the best advice based on experience. And, some people have somebody like that, some people don't. If you don't, which honestly, I never really did.
Right.
And a similar situation like my dad, he's kind of, he's not a guy I could call up and talk about it. So anyway, I think that overall, that's the most important thing is have a mentor, a friend, somebody that knows you, that likes you, that trusts you.
Can call you on your crap.
It calls you on your crap. They'll say, no, dude, that's not, you've got yourself going down a hole that you don't even need to be around, let alone in. And that's helped me make better decisions over time because if you're like me at all, and you are, that if somebody needs your help, you just do it. And, it's just like, I got to talk myself out of this or that, or I don't need to be doing this, or if it's even, I kind of stopped buying stinking diesels. I don't even need them. Whatever it is, You know,
Yeah.
whether it's a maturity thing. When I say maturity, I mean
Experience.
experience. You know, like you know, a football coach. Well, there may be somebody really good, but if he doesn't have a lot of experience coaching people and bringing them up, probably not going to be the right hire.
No.
So that's the same thing with you. You need to hold yourself accountable.
Dude,
You know,
that's been my big 24 word was accountability.
yeah. And you know, lead by example on every aspect of your life. So you have to be that leader for everybody. And lots of times you just don't want to bear the weight, but you have to.
True.
You have to get up and do it again. You have to do it. And well, you don't have to, but if you don't, you have no chance at all of being successful. There's no chance.
If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a like, share it with the fellers, check out our website to send us any questions and comments about your experience in the blue collar business. Who do you want to hear from? Send them our way and we'll do our best to answer any questions you may have. Till next time, guys.